Hi, and welcome to the Bold Leadership Story Show, where we talk to leaders in the Temecula Valley and around the world. And basically, it's a conversation about experiences shaping exceptional lives. And today, I've got a gentleman who's been in Temecula for a number of years. His name is Alex Newman. He's the CEO and founder of Grape. You can go to investgrape.com and check out his business. And we're going to have a little chat here to talk about his various wealth management endeavors and helping people in the area to get wealthy and have a great retirement. So Alex, how did you get started in wealth management?
Yeah, so then thank you so much for having me on. It's kind of I guess a role that I fell into, believe it or not, which is kind of interesting. But I started off as a telemarketer for a mortgage company when I was 15 years old.
Wow, so you started early.
Yeah,
That's like the pit. You're going into the den of
boiler room.
it's like did they say well?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty
Yeah,
much. It was like boiler room, Wall Street, I
yeah,
guess.
okay.
But for
Very cool.
mortgages,
So you were like trial by fire with that one.
yeah,
Where was
yeah.
that at?
That was in Orange County.
Okay, yeah, that's a hotbed.
Yep, yep. So that was kind of how I first got into finance.
Okay,
Excelled at that pretty quickly. Then I started, I became a loan officer and doing loans, and then started my own mortgage company when I was 19.
okay,
So
wow.
did that for a little while, and then of course around that time, and I'll give you an idea of my age, but around that time was also when we had the mortgage collapse, right?
Okay, that was, let me think. That was around 2008.
You got it.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yep, yep. And so
I think
right,
a lot of other people still remember it. It's like, no, don't even think about that. That's not going to happen again.
yeah, exactly. It's etched into everybody's brain, right? But yeah, so that all happened, and I decided I wanted to get into something a little bit different. And so I made a transition and went to go work at the banks. And so I worked at JP Morgan Chase and wound up just becoming really close with the financial advisor there.
Okay.
And he kind of piqued my interest into the whole world of wealth management. So yeah, I fell in love with it. I decided that's what I wanted to do, and I worked really hard and became a financial advisor. So that was where I first began in wealth
So what
management.
does that mean to become a financial advisor? You have training,
Yeah,
certifications.
yeah. So I guess it's different depending on where you become a financial advisor. At Chase, usually it takes a few years in order to be an advisor. But yes, there are licenses that you have to pass. So
Hmm.
in my scenario, I had to get my life insurance license along with my Series 7 license, which makes me a stockbroker,
Right.
right? And then also my Series 66 or 65, which allows for me to give investment advice and be compensated for it.
Okay. Very
So,
good.
yeah, definitely some grueling tests.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are, from what I hear, they're not trivial. They're very, very challenging.
Yeah.
But it sounds like though, starting at age 15 in the boiler room, and then at 19, having set up your own mortgage loan brokerage, that's not trivial either.
Yeah.
What was it at that age? Most people at that age, I know me, I was like, you know, just kind of struggling. It's like, okay, where's my next beer coming from?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got your own business and you're broken, you're leading a team.
Yeah.
Uh, tell me about how what was it that drove you to want to do that?
That's a very, very good question. I don't know. I could probably speak to a lot of entrepreneurs about this, but I think there's just kind of that fire to make things better,
Yeah.
right? And so just constant fine tuning on trying to find the perfect formula, the more efficient way to do something, different ways to wow your clients and to set you apart from your competitors. And I would say that was really the things that really drove me to create my own firm, and just to kind of be a trailblazer is doing things differently. I felt that there was a different, more efficient way to operate, and that I could give my clients a much better experience than what they had previously.
Okay. And then mortgage business, I'm sure you'd need to have good relationships with realtors. And were you working with mostly commercial? Was it commercial or residential?
Yeah, yeah, it was all residential. And they had a different setup. So, they were very focused around calling. And so they were calling a lot of individuals in the local area, surrounding area. And they were essentially setting appointments for myself or for another loan officer to speak with them
I see.
and move them along through the loan process.
Okay.
So yeah, it was kind of direct to consumer, not really an intermediary where we worked with realtors or anything of that sort.
So what were your challenges? I mean, you seem like a really sharp guy.
Oh, thank
You've
you.
got a focus, and you've got, a direction and an intent. Sounds like you're very stable in that regard. But what was it that challenged you? What were the things that, was there any aspects of that growth period when you were that young that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different things to overcome. Obviously being young, life experiences, right?
Yeah.
During that time, I was having a conversation with grown-ups at the time,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And you're 19, it's like, what do I know? But hey, you
Yeah,
you just
talking about mortgages and didn't have one of my own, right? And
that
so
takes some boldness.
yeah, but knew a lot about it, right? It's kind
Okay.
of
So
like
you studied.
of course. It's like me being a retirement specialist now. I'm not retired yet, right? But
Right.
I know a lot about it. But I think that the challenges are just constant learning, right? I guess is probably the best way to put it. And I feel like the the way I really enjoy learning is what gives me the fire is trying to figure out an easier way or more efficient way to to kind of to change the process. And so
Yeah. So you had to overcome some of the fears of being a young guy and working with older people who you hadn't had those life experiences yet. So that fear, how did you overcome that? What was it that you did? You just dug in and studied, or was there anything else you kind of did to help you with that?
yeah, definitely dug in and study. That was a big piece. But also listening to my clients, right? And really getting an idea of kind of their pain points and looking through their lens. And
Mm,
I knew that if I was looking through their lens and doing my due diligence and research on my knowledge, and the industry knowledge, that segue, or that intersection, would just create a great experience, and it's forever evolving,
right.
and that's exactly what happened.
So let's kind of move forward again a bit into more recent stuff. What do you have any stories about what you did to start your wealth management business, and what kind of challenges have you had getting that up and running?
Yeah. So yeah, to transition to that, so when I when I left the mortgage industry and started working at the bank, I was there for about 7 years, and that started as a banker, then became a financial advisor, and then eventually started my practice. But yeah, I mean, talk about a endless sea of knowledge. Certainly, the investment world is definitely one of those. You could go as deep as you like. So I would say with creating the firm, some challenges. The
I'm going to
challenges,
share the screen here real quick while you're talking.
sure. Yeah, so the challenges, the challenge of creating a firm, there's just so many different aspects, right? You have from a compliance perspective, you have from a client's perspective, gathering new clients perspective, which includes marketing. You with any business, you have it's definitely you wear a lot of different hats. I would say
I was
that
just talking about that the other day, wearing hats and looking at all the different hats that I'm wearing and trying
Yep.
to figure out which ones I wanted to keep
Oh yeah.
on the
Yeah.
stack and then which ones I wanted to take off and delegate or
Yep.
which ones to toss.
Oh yeah.
So how did you work through that with the startup process?
Yeah, so still kind of working on it. You know,
Okay.
but I really enjoy the marketing side. I really enjoy meeting clients and helping clients out.
Mhm.
And so I've been really focusing my efforts on those areas. And so of course I have my own current clients that I manage.
Right.
But really my main focus is meeting new clients and introducing them and taking care of them with my other advisors inside of my firm.
So yeah, okay. That brings up, I'm sharing your screen, your retire Temecula. Is that part of your marketing effort here, I'm thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of look at it like that. That's not. I like to look at it as more of a social event for retirees.
Okay.
And so, initially when I moved out here, and moved my practice out here, I noticed that a lot of my clients were moving here from Orange County, LA, San Diego, San Francisco, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of times they move out here to be closer to their kids and grandkids.
Right.
And so when they get out here, they have a tough time meeting new people and other like-minded retirees
Hmm.
because as you know, when you're building a family, your kids are going to school and they're playing sports, and it allows you to connect and meet a lot of people very naturally. But
Right.
when retired, that social aspect is really not a part of the equation. And so after hearing this time and time again from friends and clients, I thought of the idea of having kind of a social group for retirees. And so that was,
That's a great idea. And we have so many awesome wineries out here and
yep,
and other places to go and have fun. So
exactly right. Exactly right. And so that was the objective, was really creating that social group. So that was really my main focus. And so we hold these events typically monthly at different wineries.
right.
And our first event, we had 4 people. Our second event, we had 40 people. Our
Wow.
third event, we had 90 people. Our fourth event, we had 190 people. And then our fifth event, we had over 260 people. And
Wow.
so it grew very quickly. It's a great time. I know you'll be coming to this next one on
Yeah, I'm
Tuesday.
looking forward to it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
coming up.
it's such a great time and great people, but that's really the objective. And I always let everybody know that, on my end, my focus first and foremost is really creating this group that's for retirees and for them to meet. Obviously, I'm here as a resource in the event somebody ever needs help with, setting up their trust, or obviously, managing their investment portfolios, or getting a financial plan done. All of those wealth management pieces, I am here as a resource. But as I always like to say, that's not what this event's for. I'm not there to talk shop. It's simply just for you to come down and meet some incredible people and have a great time. And if you need my assistance on the wealth management side, we could always set up another time and date in order to take care of that.
Okay, perfect. Bold leadership.
Yeah.
One question that I ask uh, pretty much everybody who comes on the show is taking a look at all the decisions that you have had to make over your career, starting at pretty early, 15.
Yeah.
What was the boldest decision that you had to make, and what have been the consequences of that?
Yeah. So by far it was this decision, which is starting Grape Wealth Management. And the reason being is because, as obviously as you get older and you build a family, it's every move is so much more critical. Right. And so from a bold standpoint, it was a lot easier for me to quit my job and for me to, go and start my own mortgage company when I didn't have any kids and I didn't have a mortgage of my own. Right.
Right.
Obviously now things are very different. I have 3 kids. They all go across the street to Rancho Christian. And
Okay.
my office is across the street. I don't know if you could see it from here, but
Yes, I can't quite. It's a little bright today.
but literally they're right across the street. But yeah, when you're there and you're somewhat comfortable, right, and you have a nice rhythm going, for you you have to be bold in order to jump and hope that there's a branch that you're going to be able to grab onto.
Right.
And I took that jump. I'm glad I took that jump. Um,
What did you do to kind of assess that? So the leaders in our audience are always looking to find nuggets, things, that they learn from other people's mistakes and also from their successes. So what are some of maybe if you could share some of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them with that
yeah,
decision?
yeah. So some challenges. I think any advisor, and I mean I'm speaking directly to advisors right now, but I think there's always 2 questions when you go and you start a firm. The first of which is, how many of my clients want to stay with me? So how many of them
Right.
are
Okay.
me? And then also, how am I going to generate new clients?
Right.
So the
Okay.
2 biggest questions, right?
Right.
And so,
How much time did you give yourself to answer those questions before you made the jump?
oh, geez. I mean, those were just the 2 biggest questions. There's probably another 100 questions before that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Just on the platform and technology and, custodians and investments and so many different
Did
other
you have
pieces.
it? Did you set up a team of advisors? Did you get support for all that?
Yeah. So, no, it was me. So,
Okay.
I did all the research, all the due diligence, and it took me about 2 years in
Okay.
order to go through that process. But now I do have 2 other advisors, that are a part of the firm, and it's going well. I definitely wouldn't have. I'm glad I made the decision.
I kind of meant, I'm sorry, I meant advisors in terms, not other
Giving me
wealth management
advice.
advisors, but people who might know software, people who might know, the business aspects that kind of mentor you through the process of making that transition. Did you bring anybody on board to help you with those things? Not on
Yeah,
board, but maybe just go have coffee once in a while. Was
yeah.
that any part of your story?
Yeah, not from a technology standpoint. A lot of that was from my due diligence. I would say majority of it was just from my due diligence and looking at the landscape. Luckily, I also did have a few friends that also made the jump.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
they chose different platforms than the platform that I chose.
Mhm.
But they were able to give me some insight on, just some things to be prepared for. Um, More so from like a compliance perspective, and then also staying up to date with clients and keeping them up to speed and that sort of thing. um, but yeah, as far as advisors, there wasn't like a third party company I really, was able to hire to come and put all those ducks in a row. Nor did I want to, right? I
Right.
want to make sure that I was making the right choice for my, first and foremost, my clients, and then of course for myself and my family.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's great. You're like the bulldozer. It's like, there's
Yeah.
a big task to get all that done. And you've got, there's no pressure. You don't have a house and a mortgage and
Oh,
a
yeah.
car payment and,
Yeah.
and a family to support.
Yeah. Just three kids, a mortgage, yeah, office and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So well, good on you. It's definitely a lot on your plate. And you were making that transition while you were working. So you were doing this in your own time.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's not just cut and dry like that.
So, okay. Well, thank you. I'm interested to know last kind of like I kind of wrap up, but last kind of question is, what do you see for the future for you and your family here in Temecula? What's the prognosis?
Yeah, so I absolutely love the area and I am so bullish on the area. I know all the statistics about Temecula and I am excited to see where Temecula is going to go. I'm of course originally from Orange County. Met my wife when she went to Cal State Fullerton. She's originally from San Diego, wanted to move back to San Diego after she graduated, which brought us that way. And then from there started having a family, or was about to have a family. Came out here, bought a nice house, all of that good stuff. We wanted a backyard and a pool and didn't want to pay double or triple the price in San Diego or in Carmel Valley where we were at prior to.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of the what brought us here. But from being here, we will be here, 9 years in October. But so here in the Valley, you might know these numbers, but there's about 9,000 acres of wine country
Mhm.
in Temecula, which is far less than obviously Napa, Sonoma, Paso. And obviously that's one of the beautiful things about some of those areas is that it's so rural, right? We are not as rural over here. But if like up in Napa, in a 100 square mile radius, there's about 7 million people, right? Whereas over here, we have over 22 million people in a 100 square mile radius when we keep in mind San Diego, Orange County, LA, right? Which is absolutely amazing. So the opportunity that we have, I feel like we're just scratching the surface from a winery tourism perspective. Now, back in 2019, we had a total of about 3.14 million visitors here in Temecula, specifically kind of wine country area for tourism.
Mhm.
Napa had 3.84. So to give you an idea of how close we are,
Wow.
that's just the amount of visitors.
We're turning and burning them.
We're churning and burning them
But they're all having fun. I mean, it's like I go to the wineries a lot.
Same here.
Go out there. We were just there last weekend. We went to a little distillery out there, and
Oh, at Oak Mountain,
yeah,
we're
yep.
going tonight.
Oh, you're gonna have a blast. Talk to Willie,
Okay.
and yeah, he's got the mustache.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's a
Yeah.
mixologist. Oh man,
Oh,
we had a blast. Say hi to Willie for me.
I'll tell him you said hi. We're going tonight for Chuck Washington event.
Okay.
But yeah, I will definitely tell him you said hi.
All right. Cool.
I haven't been
Love
to
it.
the distillery. So I'm excited. But when we look at from a revenue perspective, we did back in 2019, we did about $1.1 billion in revenue in just tourism revenue.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, 700 million of that was on individuals that came and stayed 2 nights or more. When we look at Napa did $1.8 billion. And I will double check on those numbers, but nonetheless, just to kind of give you an idea of how close we are.
That's billion with a B.
With the B. Yeah, we crossed.
You think a little sleepy Temecula. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in It was right around 2010. I saw a study somebody did. It was like 600 million that 1 year.
Yeah. Yep.
It was published in the local paper. So I'm
Yep.
sure, yeah, it's about double. So
Oh yeah. Just
it's growing like crazy. It's a good growth though.
oh, it's
They're keeping it nice. They're not overbuilding. They're keeping it nice. I think they're doing a really good job with that.
oh, I totally agree. All the moves that they're making are right on. So which brings you to, brings me to your question about the area. I think that we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Obviously, each winery that goes in, they kind of like set the new bar, right? The most recent one is Altissima, beautiful winery. I don't know if you've been. It's on the
I
other
haven't been
side.
yet.
Oh, you have to check it out.
Where's it over on Portola?
off Di Portola. Yep, right behind Robert Renzoni.
Okay.
And so beautiful winery, but
I was a member of the Fazeli wine club for a while. I was there for a couple of years. And
BJ
used to
is
go out to
awesome.
well, yeah, it was so much fun.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Each one has their own feel and their own character. But Altissima, yeah, it was right behind Fazeli. It's a beautiful winery, and they're really kind of setting the bar. And so there's a new winery that's going in next to Lorimar, which is called Arbor Point, or Anchor Point.
Anchor Point. Okay.
Yeah. So, but reason why I bring all this up is because I believe that we're just scratching the surface of the amount of people that are knowing about Temecula, and a lot of people that have come has been a long time since they've been out here. So they think they have this kind of preconceived notion of Temecula, and it's not nearly what it used to be. I know how much it changed from when I first moved out here, 8 years ago, let alone people that came out here,
I've been here for almost 30 years.
So you've seen the growth, obviously.
Seen a lot of growth.
But over every 5 years is like double, right? It's growing at a very rapid speed.
Almost Moore's Law.
What's that?
It's almost like Moore's Law.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a tech guy, so.
Oh, love it, love it. But yes, exactly. So, so I'm really excited. So when looking at kind of later on down the road, the focus is having a wealth management firm within a tasting room.
Okay. I love that. There's the vision for you.
Yeah,
there's baby.
So the idea is really having it would be relatively large, of course. Second floor would be wealth management, so the offices, and then the bottom floor would be the tasting room.
And this is going to be your facility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. So you'll be able to come in, obviously have some great wine, bring some friends, hang out, relax, and instead of and then also, of course, come up for your review to check out your wealth and make sure that you're still on track to continue enjoying your retirement.
Awesome. A lot of happy faces walking around there.
It's amazing. It's going to be great. I'm excited.
Well, fantastic. Well, Alex, thank you very much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you being on the show, and thank you for your bold leadership stories.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was really amazing. Starting at age 15 and going up. So very inspiring. I'm looking forward to sharing this with everybody.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll tell Willie you said hi tonight.
Excellent. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye right now, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon. Thank you again.